Hello, hello, hello. We're back for another Taiki Talk on a Tuesday. You know me in alliteration. I am your lovely host, Lauren Young Durbin. I'm a career design coach, and I help mid-career women decide on figure out what their next career steps are going to be. And I am super excited for this talk, for our guest speaker. This is a topic that is close to my heart and my head, my butt, my everything else. I was just talking to a friend about it earlier today. Um, so today we have Cristina Francy, and we're going to be talking about mom guilt and working. And so before we get into it and talk about all the tea, I am going to introduce you to Cristina so you know who you're talking to, who we're gabbing with. So she is my wonderful guest, and she's on a mission to empower moms like you and me. I'm lucky because I get to talk to her directly, so I'm just going to let her empower me directly. As a blogger and podcaster, she has made her goal to pull back the curtain on expert advice across all aspects of our lives. From wellness and nutrition to parenting tips and fashion advice, she's got you covered. When she's not championing independence and celebrating the strengths of moms, you can find her out on tennis courts, swinging for the stars. She's a proud mom of two amazing boys, and she's the voice behind Not Your Mama podcast, where she keeps it real and dives deep into topics that matter most to modern moms. So join me in welcoming Cristina. Yay, it's a round of
Yay,
applause.
thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and to dive into our topic today. One of the
Yes.
reasons why I started my podcast was because I was going through a lot as a mom. My first son knocked me off my feet, and then I had my second son, and I was feeling really lost in motherhood,
Yeah.
and I know we're going to really dive into talking about guilt, and I just really love this topic, and thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. It's one of the things I have two young, they're two. I have twins, two-year-old
Mhm.
twins.
Oh yeah, so
Um,
you're really busy.
yeah, they're taking a nap now, thank goodness.
Okay.
but but it's one of those things that I have an accountability partner I talk to every week, and we talk about our businesses. And like legit this week, we were both just like, I'm so tired and I can't do anything. I feel like I'm not being enough. So
Yeah.
that kind of leads to my first questions that a lot of working moms, actually all the working moms I personally know, feel like they're not giving enough to all the things they're supposed to be giving to from
Mhm.
work, to family, to themselves. To like, how do you what do you recommend they do to work on these feelings and to feel better about it?
Well, first and foremost, you are human, and you have to know that you're always trying to do your best, and you have to give yourself grace. You have to love yourself and actually like give yourself permission to like feel okay in the situations that you're in, and know that everything is just a season.
Yes.
Little kids, just a season. Toddlers, it's just a season. Teenagers, it's just a season. And next thing you know, you're an empty nester. I mean, I'm far from that, but everything is a season, and know that it's not always going to be this way as it is in this moment. And what's beautiful is that you can transform and change anything that you want in the future while you're in the moment that you're in now. What do you want to be in 10 years? And not everything is going to go according to plan. Tell God you're planning, he's going to laugh, right? Who knows? He may lead you down a different direction. But I think first and foremost is you need to give yourself grace and give yourself permission to know that it's not always going to go according to plan. Things are going to have a hiccup. You just have to let it go and not have so much control over the situation, and do your best. Sit down with yourself every once in a while and check in. Like, how am I feeling? Where am I feeling I need help? Am I okay with asking for help? How can I be okay with asking my partner or grandma or grandpa to help me and not feel guilty about it? And understand it does take a village to raise a child. And that's not said for no reason, because we do need help. We can't do it all. In today's society, we want to be super moms. We want to take the kids to all the soccer practice, do all the extracurricular activities. This mom's doing this, and I feel like I'm not, living up to that expectation because she's taking Timmy to the gym every day or soccer practice, and I'd rather, like, hang out and snuggle. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's just
Oh,
different. You have to understand, like, not one box fits all for everybody, and we just need to embrace love, give grace.
yeah. And also for me, it was recognizing when I started talking to my friends, what I found is that a lot of people, they don't talk about it because they feel like failures. Like it's not supposed to be this hard. And then when you
Mhm.
talk to other people, you're like, other people feel this? Okay, so it's not just me. It's okay to feel like I'm dropping the ball.
Yeah,
Someone gave me pretty good advice. They said, when you're juggling a lot of balls, the key is to figure out which balls are glass and which balls are plastic. Like
yeah,
what absolutely has to be done. You have to feed your kids. Do you have to feed them organic, completely vegan, whatever, I don't know, the healthiest thing, possible? Or is this the night where you just get McDonald's? I mean,
yeah. I mean, yeah. But it's like, okay, like feeding the kids is important, but like, okay, we have clean clothes that are just in the basket. Like, okay, do they have to be put away right now? Like, okay, I can get back to that later. Like, let's do like a priority list, And
yeah,
and I love that you brought that up because it's like what's important, feeding the kids, getting the bills paid the best of your ability and making sure no one's, getting hurt or dying on our watch, right? And just trying to get to places on time. Like,
I think
I
I've
mean,
given up on that last one.
yeah,
Like, I
right?
get
I
there
mean,
when I
I don't
get
know. We do
there.
the best we can. Exactly. As long as you know you're doing the best you can, that's all that's gonna matter, And it's like, it's okay. Like, you're going to be hard on yourself. We are our worst critics. I'm not perfect in this either, and we're all learning. And that's like the beautiful part of life in this journey is, we're learning. And then one day our kids are going to grow up and realize that, oh, our parents are just like us learning in this world, like, and that might not be till they're like, what, 18, 20, like, who knows? I mean, some kids
I
realize
didn't
it
learn that
earlier
till
than
late
that. Who
20s.
knows? I don't know. I mean, but I know there was a point for me when I realized that, growing up. And so it's all the same. You know,
Yeah, it's like when you look around and you realize that as a kid, you think adults know it all and they have it figured out, and you become one
Mhm.
and you're like, no one knows anything. No one
Yeah.
knows anything. Everyone's trying to figure out parenting, and I don't trust anyone who says they have it figured out because you may have it figured out for your kid or your whoever you're taking care of, but
Mhm.
it's not one size fit all. Sometimes it's not one size fit anybody, to be honest.
Yeah, no. Like I said, you just got to do what's right for you. And you have to also remember, like, we live in a different world now than even when our parents were raising us and when we were being raised, we did not have social media. So we
Yeah,
didn't have people's best foot forward in front of our
all the
faces
time. Yeah.
all the time. And we're addicted to this stuff. So we're constantly, looking and comparing, and people are putting the best picture and then the
Yes.
filtered picture. And, it's, you don't know what's going on. Like a picture says 1,000 words, and it's really hard. I mean, I get caught up in the moment too. It's just like, okay, no, put it away, and cut back on social media time if you have like that comparison complex,
Yeah.
and need to work on that. Part of the healing with that, I believe, is to, take it away for a while and focus on yourself and, do what's best for you and your family.
Yeah. I I watch a lot of TikTok. I don't post anything. I watch a lot of TikTok, and I've been fortunate to always be one of those people that I didn't really particularly care what other people are doing. But if you are that kind of person, at best, it should be an inspiration, not necessarily an
Yeah,
aspiration.
exactly. Yeah. And that too, you know what I mean? Use it as, of course, it has so many other great qualities as well. Like, help inspirations, gets ideas, like get conversations going. There's so many
Yeah.
great aspects to social media. I know that it's, even helped us get connected, which is
Yeah.
great, and talking about this and, getting the word out and, hopefully, something clicks with someone else and they, resonates with them and helps, move them forward through whatever it is that they're going through in their journeys.
So once people get to the point where they give themselves grace, which is actually one of my favorite words. I have to remind myself grace to give myself grace because I'm like, I can't do it all.
Mm.
Um, is how do you have any pointers on how to balance the whole work-life balance? Like if you have the secrets, you're write it down, you'll be the richest person ever. But do you have any?
Well,
I'm
what
like, yeah,
I do, and I mean, honestly, like I'm no master keeper of it, but I have a calendar. Like I do everything on the calendar and I put it on the calendar. That's what I do. And I code it sometimes and I try to go off my calendar. And that's like my holy grail. And that's kind of what helps me balance things out. You know, in my season right now, okay, I have my kids that go in school. So I have like what, 8 hours to do what I need to fit into the day. So I need to strategize like how am I going to get my work in, have my schedule for work, make sure I have my morning routine. Kids, are usually on a routine. So you can work around their own routine. Like, okay, they have dinner time this time, bedtime 7:30, after 7:30, then I can do my X, Y, and Z. But I just try to like, and sometimes I have to pivot, okay, I can't make it to the gym today because the school called me and my son's sick.
yeah,
It's like, all right, so I'll bring my kid home. Maybe I'll do something else at home instead. But I try to keep things organized, like, okay, play tennis Tuesday tennis, interviews Wednesday. You know what I mean? I try to keep it pretty rigid, and block out days where I know I want, my time and not have to work or do what I need to do. So I believe in planning ahead. I believe in calendars and just being able to pivot and, just try to be creative in your day if it doesn't go as planned. So that's my advice.
yeah. I'm a big prioritizer.
Hmm.
I think what's the one thing that I have to get done today? Outside of the essentials, like, getting the kids dressed and that kind of stuff. What's the one thing I have to get done?
Yeah.
And I make sure because it's usually not a whole bunch of stuff. It's usually one or two things. So I'm like, as
Yeah.
long as I get that done, okay, I got it done. And I do that for family life. I do that for work life.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish we get to the point where it's not bi-level, it's tri-level. So it would be family, life, and self. Because usually when we say
Okay.
life, that usually means other people. And so we don't really have much energy to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned, like, I sit down and make sure I have my me time because a lot of times I think a lot of moms feel like we can't possibly have that time,
Yeah.
or we just don't have it, or we just
Yeah.
want to sleep. Um,
Yeah.
so
And
I
there
know this.
always,
Mhm.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, like there is like, you got to prioritize the time, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
what it is. Like, even if it's just like locking yourself in the bathroom for like, whatever, like 2 minutes and just trying to like breathe and like look in the mirror and be like, you a badass biatch, you know what I mean? And whatever it is, you got this, and get it together. Or, just when the kids go to bed, like just this is what I want to do, or know that your kids wake up at like whatever, 6:30, whatever, and try to, be up like at least 5 minutes before and, check in with yourself and take a breath and, set yourself up right for the day because your morning routine is such a game changer in how your day is going to go. And I've noticed when
yeah,
I do one and when I don't do one, I feel a little bit more frantic in the day, a little bit more not as grounded versus when I do a little time for myself in the morning and check in, like maybe pull an affirmation card or, just sit with myself and even just sitting outside and having the sun on me.
mhm. One of the things that I think is so important is for us to remember what brings us joy. The
Yes.
small things, because a lot of times we forget that because you feedings or it's caretaking duties, whatever. And for the longest time after I had my boys, I hadn't read. I didn't read, and I'm a huge reader. It's kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous. I have a little cart. I have a section on my desk of just notebooks, and this one says it's not hoarding if it's books. I don't know if you can do that,
Yes.
but it's true. But so in order to get back to myself and give back to myself, I made myself say, I'm just going to read a page or two a day.
I
And
love
then
it.
it became, I'll read for 5 minutes until it became
Mhm.
a habit. But just doing that helped me reset because
Yeah.
I was able to give back to myself. And so a lot of times when I talk to people, clients, just friends, I'm like, well, what do you like to do for fun? And they're like, I don't know. I don't have time for fun. I'm like, well, what did you used to like to do?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
weren't
you
always like this.
forget.
You
You
always have
kind of
kids.
forget because I've been asked that question too, and I've been like, I don't know, like, who am I? You know, like, what do I like to do?
Yes, it is. It's so easy to lose yourself. And that goes across the board, even if you're not taking care of kids, but maybe you're taking care of relative or,
Exactly.
so it's we give so much of ourselves that we have to remind ourselves to give back, or I have to remind myself that a lot every day to
To
give
give
back
back,
to
exactly. To give
myself
back.
because we're always running around and thinking we're not enough. And if we actually sat down, and the other thing I always tell people is like, talk to yourself the way you would talk to your best friend. If your best
Yeah.
friend was telling you that she had a full-time job, that she's managing people, has this huge responsibility at work, she also has a kid or two or three or four that she's managing, she has a dog, she has a house, and she's doing all this in 24 hours, including sleep, you wouldn't
Yeah.
say, "Well, I don't think you're doing enough." I don't
No,
I
I'd be like,
mean,
girl, you're killing it. You're doing too much.
yeah,
Give
but we
yourself
don't say that
a
to
break.
ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I really like my best friend, she's like two jobs and going to school, she's super ambitious and wanting to transition and, just doing a lot. Like, she's a very ambitious, woman. And I'm like, girl, you're doing so much. I can't believe you do. And she has three kids. And so I always give her kudos and props. It's just like, how do you do it? And
Yeah,
sometimes we're talking and she wants to pull her hair out, and then sometimes she's got it, so it's every day is different, but it's definitely possible to balance it all. And you know, it's not always going to be an easy ride, but yeah,
yeah. It's not gonna be an easy ride. I think if we just admit that, it's not gonna be an easy ride, but it can be a fun one and it can be
exactly.
exciting, but it's
Yeah.
not gonna be easy.
It's fulfilling. It's like, because you're going to look back on these days, we were talking about in the beginning about seasons, we're going to look back on this season and be like, oh my God, I miss those days. That was like so funny that, Charlie used to do, X, Y, and Z. And, we're
Mhm.
gonna wish we had those days, and just cherish the moments and do what you can with your kids is what I feel like. If your kid wants to color and you really have like 5 minutes because you're just scrolling on your phone, like just do that, like
Yeah.
do those extra little special things because they remember that. And things aren't taught, they're caught. So,
Oh,
they're always looking and they're always absorbing. So,
I love that. I haven't heard that
yeah,
one. I,
yeah,
um, I kept being told, and I now find myself telling people that the days are short with wait, no, the days are long, but the years are short.
exactly. Yeah.
And so my kids are only 2, so they barely have years. But even now
Yeah,
I see
I
myself
got a
looking at
2-year-old. I mean, I'm in that terrible suit. I'll be like, don't throw that. And he looks at me and he'll just throw it anyway. Just I'm like, okay,
look you
all right.
dead in the face and do it.
What?
They don't care. They don't care about our lives. So, yeah, so I have 2 of those. They're
Yeah,
learning
I
bad
know you
habits
have
from
double trouble.
yes, and they finally hit that stage too. So,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
like,
but honestly, I think it's so cool to have twins. I mean, they get to have each other and like grow up together. I mean, I'm sure I've never had twins, so I couldn't
yeah.
imagine, but like I think it's super cool when people do have twins.
Yeah, I don't know any other way, because 'cause they're
Yeah.
my only
Yeah,
kids.
you
They will
wouldn't.
both be my
Yeah.
so, yeah, they're a handful, but I love them to death. I remember my life before them, but also it's kind of like, man, I used to have what did I do with my time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you?
Well, thank you so much. I am at notyourmamaspodcast.com. You can also find me on Instagram at notyourmamas.podcast. I am on Spotify. I'm also on Apple. You can catch episodes there. They come out every Thursday. And yeah, if you're looking to, we have so many subjects about self-development, mom guilt, I bring experts on, and so you're getting the best advice from the best people. So I hope to see you over there and connecting with you.
Thanks. Yay. And I just want to give everyone a heads up about next week's. Wait, no, it's in 2 weeks. I have to look at the calendar because I never know what day it is. Fortnight, as I like to say. I never say 2 weeks so I can avoid. I always say fortnight. Um, on April 16th, the Tuesday after next, we will have How to Build and Maintain Your Network with Andrea Jacob Masick. And you'll also see, let's see if I got the right, nope, there we go. Wait, there we go. There we go. I'm having a challenge, a career clarity challenge. It starts April 22nd through the 26th. You can register for it. We have a little QR code. Yep, there we go. QR code. One day I'm gonna get it right. And you can just sign up. You can join the challenge, and I'm super excited about it. And so I want to thank Christine again for joining us and just giving me an outlet for the day, at least. I'm sure there's lots
Yeah,
of
well, thanks
other
for having me.
people who are so excited to catch you. Remember, you can catch her on Not Your Mama podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which is where I listen to it. And you can follow her on Instagram at notyourmama.podcast.
Yeah, not your mamas dot podcast.
Okay, with an S. Not your
Yeah.
mama's
Yeah.
possessive uh podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much. And thank you, Christina, for joining us today. And I'll see you guys in a fortnight. Bye.
Bye.